Have you ever noticed how the closer you get to him, the faster he pulls away? It's like one day he's texting you all the time, sharing secrets, making you feel safe. And then the next day, you're staring at your phone, wondering what the heck went wrong. Sis, listen, this isn't just about him. This is about a deeper pattern. Welcome back, you guys. This is the Divine's Finest. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Of course, I have some amazing resources on top of my Decentering Men journal and a whole lot more on there, you guys, that can definitely help you on your journey. So make sure you check those out in the linked description in the description box below. So let's get into it. So this is going to be episode 38. Where we're going to call this episode When He Pulls Away After Getting Close. What's really happening? So, I'm going to give you guys an example. I tend to use Taz all the time, but I think this time I'm going to use Alan. Again, I've referenced him only maybe a couple times in my podcast episodes, but basically I remember with Alan where, I was able to get a little bit vulnerable with him. Every time we shared something deep, it felt like, it would be basically where we would, share each other's thoughts and feelings, how our day was going, kind of just basic stuff, right? But the thing about it is that it felt like he'd vanish the next day, right? And of course, my anxious attachment did what it would always do. It basically just went wild whenever when he did disappear, right? And of course, I had those typical thoughts of sometimes it really depends on my mood, but most of the time I would just it depends on how I feel with the person. But with Alan, I didn't really think too much of it. I just kind of just let his behavior slide. You know what I mean? I didn't think much of it, but at the same time, my anxious attachment style would just be kind of I'd be kind of looking out for his messages. When is he going to message me? Sometimes I would think oh, did I, say something wrong? Maybe I came off as too needy or too much, just all these different things, right? But what I didn't realize at that time a few years ago was, that I didn't think back then that his pulling away wasn't proof that I was unlovable, right? It was actually proof of his own fear of intimacy. And the crazy part, my reaction, chasing, overthinking, spiraling, it only deepened the cycle. So when someone pulls away after closeness, there are usually two attachment styles clashing. So for avoidance, closeness feels like danger. It triggers fears of losing independence or becoming swallowed whole. Or becoming swallowed whole. For anxious partners, such as myself, for example, because as you guys know, I used to have an anxious, preoccupied attachment style, right? Where closeness felt like oxygen. But the moment that it's gone, it's like the panic just sets in. The push-pull dynamic gets stronger. The more neither side is aware of it. But here's the hard truth. That it's not your job to shrink yourself if he doesn't run. It's not your job to force him into closeness that he is not ready for. What your job is noticing how much of your peace you're giving away in that cycle. So the next time he pulls away after getting close, instead of chasing I want you to ask yourself, what am I making this mean about me? Because the truth is, his distance is not about your worth. It's actually about his capacity. And you get to choose whether you keep dancing in that push and pull or you step out of it altogether. And of course, as always, this is exactly why I created my 28-day Decentering Men journal. Because when you keep centering his actions, his hot and cold energy, and start centering your own clarity and peace, everything starts to shift. The journal actually gives you daily prompts to break the cycle, to finally put yourself back in the center of your own life. And if you've been through the push and pull game like I was, or the pull away game, I call it the pull away game, but it's the push and pull game, this journal is definitely going to be for you. So I hope this resonated for you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. The links are below to my journal and all my other resources. And I also have a few books, if you guys want to check those out, of that actually have helped me in addition to what I was already doing on my journey, to help me understand attachment styles and how they worked more in depth. Okay. And yeah, so with that being said, I hope this resonated for you guys, and I will speak to you in the next episode.